What's going on? I'll be Fitness Gaming, and you've seen the title of the video, you know why you're here. So earlier today I posted about Domain Zoo. After we played a few games, deck did really well. I'm going to post the video for that in the description below if you want to check that out. So I went ahead and submitted the list and the video to the Discord group with Black Belt 34 and Deck Faden 07, and what they're doing is they're playing different lands. They briefly explained to me why those lands are being played over the ones that I was playing, but as far as the main deck and the sideboard, everything looks fine. So let me just give you an update on the lands and why we're playing it. So the biggest changes that we made are with the tri-lands. Now we're playing the Zagoth land and the Savai Triome. So Zagoth is going to give us Swamp, Forest, Island. So that's going to go good with the Sacred Foundry. And then the Savai is going to go with the Breeding Pool. Those are the differences there. We're still going to follow the same concept of Breeding Pool and Sacred Foundry as your secondary nice pair up, and Steam Vents and Temple Garden. The other thing that changed, because we did change our tri-lands, is that now we just play 4 Windswept Heath rather than 1 Misty Rainforest, because the Windswept Heath now can hit both of your tri-lands. So it's, in theory, and I've only played a few games with it, the mana base should be less shaky, even though I did feel like it was fine in the other game, but they've played this deck way more than I have, hundreds of games with a lot of success. So if they're saying this is the optimal mana base, this is what we're going to go with. Again, main deck stays the same. Also, reason for these lands, it helps you cast Dromoka's command a lot easier, because normally you need green and red for a Kavu on turn 2. With this mana base here, it's a lot easier to get Dromoka's command on board with green and white and green and red. So that is why we changed these lands. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the game. Put this on silent here. Alright, we're going to be on the play. Okay, this is a good hand, so we're going to keep this. I got to get used to these new lands that we're playing here, even though it's not a big deal, but it could be a big deal if I'm not used to it. Okay, so we're going to get Breeding Pool. Because we're going to cast this Wild Nacatl. See, normally we would fetch out Temple Garden there. So it's just, you know, minor tweaks on what you fetch out versus the previous version. Okay. So now we're going to get the Sacred Foundry, and we're probably going to Dromoka's command here. I think that's the play. We're going to +1 our creature, and then we're going to fight. We could have bolted, and we could have Ragavan, but I think this is the better play. We already have a clock here. And now, next turn, we can just kind of sit back and either bolt or Ragavan, depending on what they do. Ragavan. This also gets them out of bolt range. And also makes your Stubborn Denials active. Well, they're always active, but you know what I mean. What they see here. Okay. There's been so many times where I accidentally hit cast. So we're off to a good start here. We got Bolt now. It would be nice if we had Stubborn Deny. I always say that. I just like the idea of having a nice 4-4 or 5-5 in play, and being able to protect it and just riding it all the way to victory. Okay, this guy we're going to have to take care of, but we'll do it in response to something. Okay, so the opponent has seen enough of these shenanigans. Alright, so what do we bring in? This was pretty good in that game. We could probably take out Remand. They have a lot of cheap spells, so Remand is not that good. Teferi might be good, so we'll get rid of another Remand. I'm not 100% sure what you bring in this matchup. Maybe some graveyard hate, but I mean, I think Kavu's enough. We don't want to dilute our deck either, because I think we're pretty set up against their deck. Remand just seems like, you know, when you're facing an opponent who's playing 0 mana spells and 1 mana spells, it doesn't seem that good. Alright, let's see here. I mean, one thing we could do with our own Remand is we could, if they try to, you know, counter one of our spells, we could Remand our own, put it back in our hand, and draw a card. So that could be something that we can do. Okay. So we're going to get a Steam Vents here. Or, actually, yeah, we're still going to get a Steam Vent. But, we're going to Lightning Bolt this now. The other play, we could have played our own. But most likely they would have had some type of removal for it. So next turn, we're going to most likely get a Temple Garden. And then playing either Kavu. Yeah, probably Kavu's best. Yeah, we're going to have to play Kavu. Unless we draw like another Bolt. If we draw another Bolt, we try to get another red source. Do we have another red source? Yeah, white-red, Sacred Foundry. That we could play Ragavan and Bolt. I mean, we have plenty of land to hit. Okay, so we're going to grab Temple Garden. And then next turn, we'll grab one of the Triome lands, and we can either go Ragavan or Draco. We'll see. And we have some lands here to cycle through with the Kavu. Okay, so they probably have Bolt or some type of removal, but I'm okay with that. It seems like they're stuck on mana, and I don't want to give them, you know, anything else. Yep, they're stuck on mana, so that trade is good, because now, actually, what we can do here. No, let's not do that. Let's try to end the game. We'll go with this one. What I was going to do was, we could have played this, got the Overgrown Tomb, played the Nacatl, and then dashed in the Ragavan. But I think this is just a better play. They're stuck on 1 mana, and I mean, we're pretty much in a good position right now. And there's no real reason to kind of like be messing around. It's so perfect. So now we have that. So let's go ahead and dash. We'll leave the blue up for Stubborn Denial. And we're going to cast our Nacatl unless they give us something good. Nope. Alright, so now we're just going to cast our Nacatl. I like using the token there and leaving my land up. Okay, so there it is. Alright, so we got that game. Everything was pretty good. Dromoka's command did a little bit of work when we drew it. Seemed really good. And that matchup, Remands, like I mentioned, they're decent. You know, if you're on the play. If you're on the draw, you probably want to take them out because they could be too slow, especially, you know, the opponent's playing very cheap stuff anyways. But they do run low land count. Well, there you have it, my friends. The new updated list there. If you have any questions, please comment at the bottom. If there was any plays that I made that could have been better, comment at the bottom. Let me know. Appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my video. And thank you guys so much, and take care.